Hostile generation. Until you break coconut you cannot eat the content. That has been the parable of my life. Iyore was telling as her friend and other women that came to sympathies with her. On the kidnap of her only surviving son. He was kidnapped along with other oil workers in the Creek of Niger-Delta. Have I not had enough trouble? She asked rhetorically, am I the only person in this world to be faced with this entire calamity? The women in the room try to pacify her. The kidnappers will release them, the police are on their trail. Iyore became more agitated. Why should they kidnap my son? Where did they expect us to get $100 million ransom? God, what offense have I committed? While she was still lamenting, news flash on the TV revealed that the kidnappers had killed all their captives. Those security operatives tried to rescue them but they failed. Iyore yelled and fainted. She was rushed to the hospital. Iz looked at her on the hospital bed and shook her head sadly. Why have fate decided to play trick with this poor widow life? I often wonder why good people suffer most in this world. This kind and wonderful woman is an embodiment of milk of compassion. But she is going through hell. She touches the life of more than 2,000 orphans through her NGO program. God will be her strength. Iyore life is like Iyore tree that provides shelter and shade to others. But no one to protect it from forces of nature. Iz continue with her narration. Her predicament started 1990 when a group of soldiers staged a failed coup against the government. Chief Adgun, Iyore's husband, was arrested and detained because he was a close friend of the leader of coup plotters. All his effort to convince his captors of his innocence of the offense he was incarcerated for failed. He eventually died in the prison. He was never tried in any court of law. No investigation was carried out before his death in the prison. The military junta confiscated all his property. Iyore's life was sheltered by that ugly incident. For many years, herself and her children struggle in tow. The stigma of coup plot against their family made things more difficult for them. Nobody made any effort to know the truth, even their extended family. Everyone avoided them like plague. It was with determination Iyore and children were able to overcome that situation. To survive that trying period, Iyore and her children fry and hawk akara, pure water, banana and other items around the city of Lagos. Another calamity struck the poor widow last year April when Boko Haram invaded Goza village. Iyore's first son Asofa, a medical doctor, was killed by the insurgents. Reports has it that he was attending to a pregnant woman in labor, that the baby was halfway out when the invaders came shooting sporadically. Information from those who survived the attack says that Afosa had the opportunity to escape from the scene, but instead he stayed and pleaded for mercy for the baby and the mother. He was killed along with the mother and the children. When Iz was still narrating her story, Iyore opens her eyes. She looked dazed. She looked around and asked, "What are mine doing here? What happened?" Iz told her that she is admitted at Tidiope Hospital, that she fainted and was rushed to the hospital. She looked around again and suddenly shouted, "Where is my son? Where is my son?" The nurses tried to calm her down. She sat up swiftly and shouted, "Where is my son?" She smiled and shook her head pitifully and said, "I bless my generation, but you must stop shedding innocent people blood." She lay back on her bed and slept forever. To read more, visits or call nigerianstray.blogspot.com.